Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat harinamhe Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat adhinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat adhinam hi Bhakti yoga samamvitam Yatatri kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatatinyam ramti Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat harinam hi Bhakti yoga samamvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat harinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yatatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam tatyat Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat harinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yadatra kriyate karma Bhagavat paritoshanam Jnanam yatat harinam hi Bhakti yoga samanvitam Yat whatever atra in this life or world kriyate does perform karma work Bhagavat unto the personality of Godhead paritoshanam satisfaction of jnanam knowledge yatat what is so called harinam dependent he certainly bhakti yoga devotional samanvitam dovetailed with bhakti yoga. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Avoid Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Please repeat. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Purport. The general and popular notion is that by discharging fruitive work in terms of the directions of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma, but factually, Bhakti Yoga is both beyond. Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and jnana. Bhakti Yoga is independent of jnana and karma. On the other hand, jnana and karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. This Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga, as recommended by Sri Narada to Vyas, is specifically recommended because the principle is this, to satisfy the Lord. The Lord does not want his sons, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from material infections. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work. Therefore, knowledge is dependent on karma or work done on behalf of the Lord. Other knowledge, being devoid of Bhakti Yoga or satisfaction of the Lord, cannot lead one back to the kingdom of God, which means it cannot even offer salvation, as already explained in connection with the stanza Naiskyama Api Achut Mahavavan Bhajitam. The conclusion is that the devotee engaged in the unalloyed devotion service of the Lord, specifically in hearing and chanting of the transcendental glories, becomes simultaneously spiritually enlightened and by the grace as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Specifically hearing and chanting the transcendental glories, he becomes simultaneously spiritually enlightened by the divine grace as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Om Agyantimitanda Sitanchanan Shalakitakshuram Minatandina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is another translation from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and that jnana which arises from karma, which is pleasing to the Lord because of its being offered to him, is endowed with bhakti. Commentary. The karma which is offered to the Lord is a sadhana of jnana because it causes purification to the level of Shatagun. That knowledge generated from karma, which is without desire and which is pleasing to the Lord because of being offered to the Lord, is endowed with bhakti, since jnana devoid of bhakti will not yield liberation. Such jnana is condemned in many places. Knowledge of self-realization, even though freed from all material affinity, does not look very well. Does not look well if it is devoid of connection with the infallible Lord. He's quoting from the same chapter, text 12. Translation: even the stage of jnana without knowledge of karma is not glorious if it's devoid of bhakti to the Supreme Lord. What is the use of having destroyed ignorance? When we speak of the shakama karma, which causes suffering, both during practice and at the stage of perfection, and niskam karma, when it is not offered to the Lord. Commentary. Not only are the words important, if there is no bhakti, the work is useless. The realization coming from the words of the Vedas is useless without bhakti. What to speak of mere scriptural knowledge? And what to speak of niskam karma, and so much more. Shakam karma is useless without bhakti. Even knowledge devoid of fruitive intentions does not appear wonderful without bhakti. And which one thinks the Lord, who has a form of knowledge and bliss, even if bhakti is present in jnana, and one thinks the Lord and bhakti are mixed with maya, then that also does not produce liberation. Though devoid of ignorance, though one has realized knowledge, what is the use of that knowledge? Then what is the use of that knowledge? What then to speak of unrealized spiritual knowledge? One should not say that you can achieve knowledge by destroying ignorance. By the inconceivable energy of the Lord, the destroyed ignorance again rises. In the Parishishta Vatanam of the Vashana Bhasha, it says, even if liberated persons again get bound up by karma, if they commit offences against the Lord, who possesses great inconceivable powers. The liberated souls are sometimes subject to birth and death, but the yogis who surrender to the Lord are not touched by karma. Thus, the effect of karma is destruction of the effect of jnana is destruction of karma. O Arjuna, by the fire of knowledge, all karmas are burned to ashes. Bhagavad Gita 4:13. But that is not so wonderful, because concerning Rath Yatra in Vishnu Bhakti Chandrodaya and other Puranas, it is stated, one who does not follow the Lord on the chariot when he moves, because he becomes a Brahmana Rakshasa, even though he has destroyed all karmas with the fire of knowledge. It will also be said again later, after reaching the level of Brahman with great difficulty, again they fall down because they do not worship the lotus feet of the Lord. Since karma is devoid of real bhakti to the Lord, the offense caused by thinking the Lord is material is unavoidable. If such jnana devoid of bhakti is useless, then what to speak of karma, which is filled with desires for enjoyment, and which causes suffering at all times, during the practice and at the time of receiving the results. And even if the karma is without the goal of enjoyment, because it is not offered to the Lord, is not successful. So here we're saying again and again the same thing, that if it's not connected with bhakti, then it's useless. Sometimes we hear that karma, jnana, they're all useless. They're all useless without bhakti. I like the Navadvita Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they visit Vidyanagar, places of learning, and Jiva Goswami said, how come that in this place there is Vidyanagar, the different types of philosophies and everything are being taught here in Vidyanagar. So Jiva Goswami asked Nityananda that if Jnana and Naya, logic, we hear they're useless, they don't give bhakti or anything like that. So how come they have a place in the Dham? The Dham is pure. So how come they've got impure things? We hear again and again from our acharyas, karma, jnana, they can't do anything, it's useless. So Nityananda Prabhu said, no, he said there's nothing impure in the Dham. He said it's only when when it's misused it becomes inauspicious. When jnana and karma is misused it becomes inauspicious. The real purpose of karma and jnana and logic is to reveal the high position of bhakti, to put bhakti in his presence. So anything that doesn't do that is useless. That's what he's saying. It's not that it's useless, but when it's not used to bring out bhakti, to enhance bhakti, then it's a waste of time. Everything we do is a waste of time if it's not connected to the Lord. So again and again they've been saying, Prabhupada says that the Lord does not want his sons, the living entities, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of the desires, and he wants all of them to come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means he must purify himself of material infection. So this is Krishna's idea. He wants to come and deliver all the living entities. This is his greatest quality of the Lord. In the beginning of the creation, the personified raiders around Krishna offering prayers and after glorifying him, waking the Lord up from his sleep, they say they're chanting his glories, and he wakes up hearing that you are great. Such and such. Kings do this. Yeah. They have professional reciters. When they wake up in the morning, their reciters come. You're such a great king. You conquered this one. You conquered that. You got 10,000 elephants. You got this. You got. So he wakes up and he thinks, "Yeah, I'm king." Because king, Kshatriya, they can be proud. So similarly, when they waken the Lord up after the previous devastation, they're standing around the Lord offering prayers, chanting all of His glories, and they say, of all of your glories, your greatest glory is that you have mercy on the living entities. So please wake up and start the universe rolling again, and give all these chants for all the living entities again to try to become Krishna conscious, hopefully. But if they don't, again they go back into the cycle. Yeah, so this is the real purpose of Gyan Yoga, and everything, the karmas, is when it's utilized in the service of the Lord, then it becomes bhakti. It may be full, you may have be full of desires even, but you're taken to the process of bhakti. You're recognizing that God is behind it. Then that's great. Krishna likes, somehow now that they're coming to me, he's full of desires. Well, that's great, as long as you're coming to me. You have no qualification. That's okay, Krishna doesn't mind. I'm a Malecha Yavana. Krishna doesn't mind, you're my Lecha devotee, you're my Yavana devotee. As long as you're coming to me, as long as you're facing me, as long as that is the ambition, then it's okay. But if it's devoid of the Lord, it's just Gyan for purification, or knowledge for enjoying karmas, without Krishna, then it all becomes useless. So it's saying here that whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called Bhakti Yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is knowledge, called knowledge, becomes a concomitant factor. So that will come automatically. Bhakti has its own sense. Bhakti has its own mind in senses. So we give up material mind, material senses, and adopt bhakti. Bhakti is there. She has her own mind, her own senses. So we can reciprocate with bhakti. So you get purified senses. Krishna says, mind, intelligence, ego, earth, water, fire, air, these are my material elements. So mind is also a material element. But when, as Krishna says, Man manabhava mad bhakto, you think of me, you engage your mind in my service, then this is proper utilization. Then your mind becomes spiritualized. You don't need the material mind. So whatever work is done here in this life is for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that when there is a rise of irreligion and a decline of true religion, at that time I descend myself and I kill all the demons and I establish the devotees. So this is the mission of the Lord. He does that, and here is pointing out whatever is done in this life is meant for satisfying the mission of the Lord. He has come with a mission. So especially for us, this time age right now, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here only 500 years ago, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he's established his mission. He's established it. Every town and village of the world, the holy names will be heard. This is the mission of the Lord. And this is our mission because we are directly connected with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Parampara. So the Lord's mission becomes our mission. If we want to love Krishna, of course. But so this is very positive. We have something positive. Krishna said 5,000 years ago, but this is only 500 years ago. It's fresh. And we have Prabhupada given us all this guidance and information of how we can expand the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that we're doing every day. We're always chanting Hare Krishna. Wherever we go, we chant Hare Krishna. People are coming, they see us, they chant Hare Krishna. Sunday Aarti, you can't move in the temple because they're all chanting Hare Krishna. So the mission of the Lord is going on. And people are enjoying it. They don't know what's happening. Common people. But it's a very exalted position to be a part of the Sankirtan mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a very exalted position. Nobody gets that. Even Brahma and the demigods, they have to try and take birth in ISKCON, Prabhupada. They try to they're queuing up to take birth in ISKCON. Because it's such a wonderful mission. Generally, the mission of the Lord, He has some process to execute His mission. Maybe a process of jnana or karma or whatever. But they're troublesome austerities and all these. Inconvenience is troublesome for most people. It's austerity. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, it's no austerity. It's simply dancing, chanting, taking Mahaprasad, dancing, chanting, taking Mahaprasad. If you want philosophy, Prabhu said we have many, many books. Otherwise, we're chanting Hare Krishna. But this is our good fortune that we're born right at this time, in this era of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sankirtan mission. So it means what is done for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord. His mission is important. He wants to deliver us, Prabhupada said here, from rotting in this material world. So all these different processes and different types of religionists and they have to learn this secret science, and they can only learn it from a devotee. That they should do what they're doing, but do it for Krishna's satisfaction. I'd put Krishna in the picture. Mahaprabhu, his devotees, Grihastha devotees, when they were going back to Navadvip from Jagannath Puri, they would ask Mahaprabhu different questions in different years. So they asked, what is the duty of the Grihastha devotees? And Mahaprabhu said, Sthana-sthiti. You stay where you are, you do what you're doing, but you just dovetail everything in Krishna service. You make Krishna the center. So it's not a difficult thing. Stay where you are. You don't have to run off to the Himalayas and become a yogi. Stay where you are, but just put Krishna in the center of the picture. And then it becomes bhakti, beginning. But if Krishna's not there, we're just working to purify our senses or get knowledge, there's nothing so purifying as knowledge, Krishna says. But then he says to Arjuna, you should give up knowledge. give it up. And the process is all knowledge, and all the way through Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge. To the end, give it up. And give up the process of acquiring knowledge, it means. And just add Krishna to the picture. You don't have to change anything or have a new system. Whatever system you're doing, you make Krishna the center of it. So the whole world they have some good intentions, but they're misguided. And the devotees are only one who have true knowledge. The devotees have to impart this knowledge. That's why mission is spirit. It's important mission, especially when we say mission, implies like a spirit, a missionary spirit. That's what it should be. That's what it was like. It still is for so many in this company. In the beginning days, it was like a missionary spirit because nobody knew anything about Krishna or anything like that, or all these yoga and karma, and we didn't even hear the names, what to speak of what they were talking about. So there's so many different processes of purification, etc. So the karma and jnana of the yogis, what is their conception of God? What is the conception of God? And the karmas, they have a process. We'll do our work and make sacrifices, and this is our sadhana. But if it's devoid of Krishna, the karmas they like to go to heavenly planets, drink somaras there for happiness. So they follow the injunctions, but the goal is not Krishna. The goal is somarasa, the intoxication that makes everybody happy there. So happiness is the goal of that is their mission, happiness, but it's their own happiness. Krishna is not in the picture. The process, they're not putting Krishna in the picture. They're simply talking about the process. Just like Narad Muni of Vyasadeva, he presented the process in the scriptures, but he forgot to put Krishna in the picture in the beginning. So it's all Vedic stuff, but Krishna is not there. So all these processes of jnana, yoga, more concerned with the processes of yoga than the purpose of the yoga. But those who understand the Lord and His mission, they also mission means becoming serious about something, establishing a mission. So we're fortunate that we are, right at this time, we are able to establish this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared just up the road, a few hundred yards away from here, inconceivably. So, ask anyone what is their conception of God, they will give you a different answer, but all of them will be devoid of Krishna. Some people have worshipped the burning bush, is it? God appeared in the form of a burning bush. It's a kind of a speculation. So, some people say God is light, some people say God is supreme bliss, some say God is a universal mind. You could come to that conclusion. The Jnanis come to that conclusion. Universal mind. There has to be a mind, otherwise. So there's like one universal mind. And one mind. It's all one. So we're all one with one mind, and all harmoniously, somehow harmoniously, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many names, the Almighty Creator, but devoid of Krishna's form, all the different processes. So therefore it says, Abhishita Buddhaya, that verse quoted, that even they rise up to the platform of liberation because they fail to accept the lotus feet of the Lord. If they fail to accept the personality of Godhead, because the lotus feet means there's legs and there's going to be a body and there's going to be a head. That is because their intelligence is spoiled. They do not accept the lotus feet. They do not accept the body of Krishna. But they're accepting other processes to try to understand this is God. I was sitting in the bank of the Ganga, Hrishikesh, hearing one sannyasi speaking there, one of the famous sannyasis at that time. And he was giving his lecture. Then he finished his lecture and he said that, and I am the world. I am the world. He said, well, it's pretty far out. It was far out at the time. I am the world. And he would say, just praise the Lord. What is the Lord he's praising? He didn't say anything about the Lord. Now he's saying praise the Lord. But who is the Lord? Anyway, anything but Krishna. This is the demoniac tendency. Anything but Krishna. They don't bring his form into the picture. So, but the devotees know the secret. We bring the form, we worship the form. And that's bhakti, even though it's not properly performed. Krishna is very happy to see you taking the process. And there is a personality there. It's not just a void or something very vague. There is a personality there, and a beautiful personality also. So Prabhupada said one should become attracted to Krishna, no other form of the Lord, only Krishna. And specifically one should become attracted by his beautiful smiling face and his activities. One who is attracted to Krishna's beauty is very, very fortunate. So therefore Krishna's come. The reason is that he wants to take us out of this material world. Suffering, birth, old age, disease, death. It's suffering. And Krishna doesn't like to see us suffering. So therefore he personally comes and he gives the process. And he comes in his, like as Krishna is the original form of, and Mahaprabhu. He's coming and he's saying, you don't have to speculate on what is God. God is this, God is light, God is... You don't have to speculate anymore what is God. I'm showing you, here I am. So Krishna comes and he's showing, here is my bamsi, here is my peacock feather, here is my yellow dhoti, here is my lotus-like eyes, here is... You don't have to speculate anymore what is God. Krishna is coming and he's showing, here I am. Here's my Jamuna, here's my Radharani, here's my Balaram, here's my mother, father, Jasoda, here's my... You don't have to speculate anymore what he's showing us in form, pastimes. Now you have something to think about, something to meditate on, something to chant about. This is Krishna's mercy. To put an end to speculation, Krishna comes and shows his form. So, yeah, that's the main thing. All these purports and everything we've been reading. We should not forget Krishna's satisfaction. We're acting in this here, like here we have a mission. We're all together. We have a mission. We have whole complexes, management things. Mission is spreading here. Mamhatas, Bhakti Brikshas. Mission is expanding. Gita class, Gita, whatever it is. It's good to have this missionary spirit. It was very much prominent in the early days because Prabhupada was alone, he had nothing, and he imbibed that spirit, the missionary spirit. Therefore, when the spirit is there, you can be very renounced, you can, good qualities, knowledge, everything becomes a common factor. Yeah, so it was all new and it was missionary. We would preach to anyone and everyone. Literally. Tell them about Krishna. In Calcutta, when devotee got a rickshaw back to the temple in Albert Road, and he was preaching to the rickshaw driver. Why don't you come and stay with us? No, he's serious. It was like that. We would preach to anyone. We would try and get anyone to become a devotee. You come in, you can become a devotee. He said, can I? He said, yeah. He said, you have to shave your head and that. So he said, yeah, I can do that. He said, well, I got my family. He said, my family. And that's okay, you can come, you'll get some stipend. Oh, that's good. You can't smoke beedis though. Oh no, I have my beedi. Beedi is a little cigarette, cigarette that they have in India. Made of tobacco. They're all the tobacco leaf. Oh no, beedi. I can't join. That's but the idea was that he was serious, a devotee, and we would have got him in. He's a rickshaw driver. But that's the idea, that seriousness was there, that missionary spirit was there. So it keeps you enthusiastic. We've got this missionary spirit. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So in all of that, Krishna says, in all of your activities, remember me. So that's what we've got to do. We put Krishna in the picture in all of our activities. And then it will become bhakti, the path of bhakti. So we do everything else very nicely, but Krishna is not there, the form of the Lord is not there, then useless. That's a waste of time. Even his Vedic injunctions, you do like this, you do like this, you do. If you don't put Krishna there, it's Prabhupada said nonsense. Vedic nonsense. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Of course the Vedas are not nonsense. We are nonsense because we're not following that properly. Narad a little bit, he forgot Krishna, so a little bit. But Vyasadeva, he forgot Krishna for a little bit. But then he got Narad came. You've forgotten Krishna. You haven't put Krishna in the picture. So So write the Bhagavatam and put Krishna in the big. So every page, everything is nothing but Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment otherwise? Yes.
Thank you for the class. Thank you for the class. I was reminded of the verse from Bhagavatam, Vasudeva Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Chanditi Ashu Vairagyam, Jnanam Yatta, because they're also we hear how knowledge is produced because of bhakti. Here also, is that the idea when we say, is that the understanding when Prabhupada is writing that Jnanam is a concomitant factor?
It becomes a concomitant factor.
Yeah, because in that verse also we hear that because of bhakti, knowledge is produced. Jnanam Yatta Dham, that is famous verse in the Bhagavatam. That because of bhakti, renunciation is produced. And Jananivasa Ashu Vairagyam, very quickly renunciation is produced. And knowledge, Yatta Dham, knowledge which is transcendental, that is produced. Is that similar to this verse?
Yes, yes. It becomes a concomitant factor. It just naturally it will come when you practice bhakti. Then that's Bhakti Devi's realm. It's her realm. When you're performing service, she gets it. You're using bhakti. It's my sin. It's my realm. So Bhakti Devi herself, she gives you what you need, Krishna consciousness, and what you don't need, she won't give. Yeah, so automatically it will become as a side product. Everything else, you have bhakti, and then everything else, knowledge, renunciation, all these good qualities, humanity, everything, that will become side effect. Because bhakti has its own realm. So Bhakti Devi then, this devotee is practicing bhakti, okay, it's my scene, I'm going there and I will help. So I'll give him what he needs. He doesn't have to worry about knowledge or anything like that, and whatever he needs, Bhakti Devi will supply. Yeah.
One more question. You mentioned in the class that like a king, he likes to hear prayers when he wakes up. And I noticed also that sometimes pujaris in the altar, they're offering different prayers, and you have been serving here for so many years. Would you mind sharing some prayers which the deities especially like?
Prayers which the deity likes. Well, the standard prayers, the demigods are coming to pray to Krishna to come, and they use the Purusha Sukta mantra, famous mantra in the Vedas. The Rig, Shama, Yajur, they all have it. Chant this mantra, the Purusha Sukta mantra. It's in different meters according to the different Veda. They have different meters or different tunes according to the Veda. But all the Vedas, they use that very famous mantra, Sahasra Shirsha. And specifically they use it when they're calling the Lord to come. There's a problem in the world. They go to Lord Brahma, they go to the ocean of milk, and Brahma meditates, and then he gets a dictation from Krishna. Take your birth in Yadu dynasty and Rishi dynasty. I'm taking my birth soon, you should all take birth. The demigods should all take birth. Yeah. So they use the standard prayer is Purusha Sukta. So they're calling the Lord. Generally when we have Abhishek ceremonies and we're installing the deities. So generally always that mantra is there. Sahasra Shirsha. It's like the devotees are there chanting all the mantras in front of the... That's like the demigods going to the shore ocean. They're calling Vishnu to come. So when the deity installation is there, we're requesting deity to come, either from your heart or wherever. Yeah, so the standard prayer, Purusha Sukta mantra. Today is also Ganga Sagar. Ganga Sagar. There's a Mela. Mela means a fair, festival, where the Ganges comes into the ocean, the Bay of West Bengal. The Sagar. Ganga Sagar. The Ganga is coming down. And actually, the Ganga Sagar is also here at Samudraga. If you make the Navadvitam Prikram, you go to Samudraga near there. Ganga Sagar is also there, serving in Navadvip in Gauranga. Ganga and the Jamuna are flowing here together. Ganga didn't want to come alone because she wanted company, so Jamuna said, I'll come with you down to the Ganga Sagar. So Jamuna is flowing on the western bank, and this bank our side of the Ganga, that is the Ganga. So they flow together. Ganga is on the western bank, eastern bank, and Jamuna is on the west bank. So they flow together, then they come to Ganga Sagara. Ganga goes down to the heavenly lower planets, hellish planets also. Shatala, Patala, all these different planets. She goes down, and Ganga Devi is known as Bhagavati, and she goes to deliver all the living entities. Especially this, she was requested to come to deliver the sons of Maharaj Sagara. Her 16,000 sons were burnt to ashes because they were envious of Kapila Muni. So there's, they have a big fair there, big mela. This time Kapila Muni has his ashram there. Some people say it's still there. If you have the eyes, you can see him. But Kapila Muni established it with Shankya philosophy. So, yes, so Ganga Sagar is there. And Jamuna says, I'm not going down there, bye-bye. She turns around and she goes back up to the heavenly planets again. But this is the merciful nature of Ganga Devi, that she comes to deliver all the fallen souls. She said, when I come here, so many people will leave their sins and I'll become contaminated, so best that I don't come. But then she was requested, no, many saintly persons also come in take your part in the water. And by their power, all the sins will be destroyed. So you may come without fear. Hare Krishna. Today is also known as Pita Sankranti. Pita. Pita is a rice preparation. They make many rice preparations. Generally the Mataji stay up all night. Little rice dumplings and all things like that with coconut stuffing or kheer, and it's called pita. It's just tradition in Bengal, but it comes on today's Sankranti. It means the sun is entering into Capricorn. in. So this Sankranti today, and they celebrate, I think they have new grains and things like this. So they make a lot of rice preparations.
In South India, they perform very nicely.
Eh?
In South India, it's Makara Sankranti. For Makara Sankranti, this Hare Krishna. This Makara Sankranti is very famous in South India.
Very famous.
In South India, Chennai and other areas, the Makara Sankranti.
Mm. Do they make pita there?
Yeah.
In South India?
With a new grain comes, with the new grain they will prepare some kheer, so many like pies and so many items, and they will enjoy that.
They like that. They stay up all night also. Mataji's cooking, they don't mind. It's also Lochan Das Thakur, the appearance of Lochan Das Thakur, who was born here locally, Kokrugam in West Bengal, the Goromandala Bhumi, this area. He was a disciple of Narahari Thakur, and he was a musician, wrote many songs glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And a very famous song, Parama Karuna. I don't know if we have time, like, please. Huh? Where is that? Okay. Shri Gaura Nityananda Daya, the mercy of Gauranga Rangan. Shall we sing?
Yes.
O Parama Karuna Bahitui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. O Parama Karuna Bahitui Jana Nitai Gaura Tabayavatara Sharashiramani Kevalananda Kunda. O Bhaja Bhaja Vai Chaitanya Nisai Surita Pishpa Shakari Acha Bhaja Vai Vishayacharya Sherasi Majiya Mukha Bolo Hari Hari Jaya Sherasiya Odeka Hari Bai Tribhavani Nai Hemana Dayala Dana Tribhavani Nai Hemana Pashupati Duli Patyarudare Shunachara Gunadata Pashupati Duli Pasana Vidari Shunyata Samsara Majiya Roya Pariya Shepadina Hilo Asa Apana karama Pujijaya samana Koholochana dasa Panara karma Punjaya samana Kailochana dasa Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lochan Das Thakur ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Thank you. Translation.
Jananivasa Prabhu ki.
They're expecting me downstairs to do some. Someone can read these? Oh, Pankajangi went? Okay. Translation. He wrote these songs for preaching. He's explaining the mission and preaching as it was his preaching. Okay, Shishi Gaura Nityananda Daya. For the purport, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is a song by Lochan Das Thakur. Pui means Lord and Dui Jana means two. Lochana Das Thakur declares that the two Lords, Nitai Gaurachandra, Lord Nityananda, Lord Nitai, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very merciful. Parama Karuna. Shabai Avatara Shara Shiromoni. Avatara means incarnation, and Shaba means all. They are the essence of all incarnations. The specific significance of these incarnations is that prosecuting their way of self-realization is simply joyful. Kevalaya Nanda Kunde. For they introduce the chanting and dancing. There are many incarnations, like Lord Rama and even Krishna, who taught Bhagavad Gita, which requires knowledge and understanding. But Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda introduced the process that is simply joyful. Simply chant and dance. Therefore, Lochan Das requests everyone, Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanya Nitai. My dear brother, I request that you just worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda with firm conviction and faith. Don't think that this chanting and dancing will not lead to the desired goal. It will. It is the assurance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one will get all perfection by this process. Therefore, one must chant with firm faith and conviction. Vishwasakari. But what is the process? The process is Vishaya Chariya Se Rasi Majiya. If one wants to be Krishna conscious, by this process, one has to give up his engagement in sense gratification. That is the only restriction. If one gives up sense gratification, it is sure he will reach the desired goal. Mukhi bolo Hari Hari. If one simply has to chant Hare Krishna, Hari Hari, without any motive of sense gratification. Deko Hari Bhai Tribhuhani Nai. Lochana Das Thakur says, my dear brother, just try to examine this. Within the three worlds, there is no one like Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, because their merciful qualities are so great that they make even birds and beasts cry. What to speak of human beings? Actually, When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through the forest known as Jharkhand, the tigers, elephants, snakes, deers, and other animals joined him in the chanting of Hare Krishna. It is so nice that anyone can join. Even the animals can join. What to speak of human beings? Of course, it's not possible for ordinary men to induce animals to chant, but if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could inspire animals to chant, at least we can encourage human beings who are adapted to this path of Hare Krishna, mantra chanting. It's so nice that even the most stone-hearted man will be melted. Pashu means stone. Pashana means stone. It is so nice that even stone will melt. But Lord Chandas Thakur regrets that he is entrapped in sense gratification. He addresses himself, "My dear mind, you are entrapped in the sense gratification process and you have no attraction for chanting Hare Krishna. Since you have no attraction for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, what can I say? I can simply think of my misfortune. Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, punishing me by not allowing me to be attracted to this movement." Chandas Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Take a dip in the Ganga today, very auspicious. Very cold also.